Hi, this is TapCat, and today I want to talk to you about some things that are going to be changing on the channel and I guess the kind of videos that I'm going to be making for the next little bit. So it seems like every time I try to come up with a plan, something pretty much will always change it. But at any rate, I'm going to do my best to lay out where I stand right now on things. So first of all, I had mentioned, I think in a prior channel update, that my work schedule had been pretty crazy and it was definitely cutting into the time I have, to do videos. And unfortunately, that kind of got doubled down on recently. I got some news at work without going into the detail. For a good chunk of the rest of this year, I expect my time to be a little spotty. Last week was probably a good example of that. I worked Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday on a new XCOM 2 guide video I was going to do. And then Wednesday through Friday, I wasn't able to spend any time at all. So Saturday came along and the last video that I had done went live, on the Saturday before. So basically what that meant is I had a whole week where nothing was going up that was new. And that really bothered me. And unfortunately, I don't think that's really going to be that unusual. And as I've said before, one of my issues, it's not really an issue, it just is the nature of it. These guides that I do, they take a long time. And what I'm realizing is I'm probably not in a good place right now to spend a lot of time on individual videos, because it's then possible I will just have nothing going live at all. And I don't like that. You probably don't like that. So what I ended up deciding is I didn't even finish the guide I was working on. I don't know how many more hours it would take to get done. But originally, I was going to do at least several more XCOM 2 guides before I started the next Let's Play. And I decided to just go in the complete opposite direction and say, okay, look, I want videos going live on the channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on things that I can complete in a reasonable amount of time. So even though I do put some work into, editing the Let's Plays and stuff, and I probably spend a little bit more time than most people do, it's nothing compared to the guides. It's, trivial almost. So that is why I'm not planning to do any guides for a while. I'm not saying ever, but my number one priority right now is getting out XCOM 2 Let's Play videos. So I want to make sure I'm on a schedule I can stick to. So it's going to be every other day. The second priority will be Planet Coaster Let's Plays. Now, if you've been watching that series, I haven't done one in a little while. And that was for a very specific reason. Just as I finished recording the last installment, I started seeing this very strange thing going on. I won't go into a lot of detail here. I'll talk about it in my next Planet Coaster video. But basically, I felt like the game had a fairly serious bug, and I was hoping they would come out with a patch, which they have not done. I didn't really want to play it until it was patched. But I spent some more time in it last night, and I feel like I can probably just work around it. So I am going to start working on the next Planet Coaster video. Now, like my XCOM 2 guides, they take a lot of time. So as I had said in the past, these are going to come kind of sporadically, and I'm not promising any kind of set schedule. But I am going to get back to work on doing the Planet Coaster. So it is coming. So third priority would be XCOM 2 guides. I had wanted to do a few Planet Coaster guides as well, and I managed to get one up before this happened. And I don't know when or even if I'll do another one. Very few people so far have even watched the one that I did, so I'm not sure there's a big appetite for it. So I feel like that's definitely the lowest priority. And of course, too, I would also like to do new things. And so that's a thing, too. But at any rate, I just wanted to, because I know a lot of people like the guides. I just had somebody ask me a couple of days ago, oh, hey, you know what? What guides do you think you'll do next? And I thought, I'm sorry, probably none. So rather than answer people one by one in comments, I just thought, let's get it out there that I'm probably not going to be doing any for a little while. Now, let's talk about another change that's far less substantial in a lot of ways, but I do just want to make sure people know about this so there's no confusion. And that is very simply the image that I use as my little avatar for the channel, the cat. I am going to be retiring that like within the next week. And the reason for that is pretty simple. It's not because I don't like it, because I actually love that picture. I always have. A while ago, I talked about, I had some ambivalence about the name of the channel, but not that picture. I really like that. But my problem is that I bought that for a pretty cheap price from a website online. And the thing is, it's not a commercial license. That was fine. Most of the time I've had the channel, I never earned any money. I never monetized my videos. But several months ago, I started doing that to kind of help offset some of the money I had spent on editing software and things like that. So, now you could argue the channel is a quote business and I'm making, money from it. And it took a while for this to kind of filter through my brain, but I realized like I'm violating the license that I used, to get this thing. And I have no idea if anyone will ever track me down or anything like that and try to, sue me or penalize me in some way. But I don't want to do that, I've started using music lately and I'm very careful to use it from sources, that I have permission to use their music from. And I want to be respectful about the art that I use too. So even though I really like the image, I'm going to go ahead and retire it. And I'm replacing it with something very different. And I'm also going to be using that image. I've started putting a new intro in my videos, which you may or may not have noticed. And that's kind of going to become my new avatar for the channel. So hopefully people like it, but I just didn't want any confusion when you look at your subscription box and you see that icon, because I've had that little cat for a long time. And, I feel like people who follow the channel know when they see that it's me. But now when you see this other image, it's not going to mean anything to you at all for probably a little while. So be on the lookout for that. Probably within the next few days, I'm going to go ahead and swap it out. So it kind of, it makes me sad. I guess I'll also have to find a new image to use for thumbnails when I do the Cat's Meow. I'll probably go ahead and use the cat for this one. And then that'll be it. That'll be its last hurrah. So, R.I.P. little battle cat. I love you. All right, as usual, I've probably rambled on for longer than I needed to. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for watching, and I hope we see you next time.